All right, so we are moving on to the surface area of cones. We went surface area of cylinders. Now we're going to do surface area of cones. Just like we started with volume, area, we're moving on to those different shapes. So remember, surface area is units squared, the area of all the surfaces. So this gives us kind of a visual of what a cone is made up of. If we were to kind of cut open our cone and unroll it, we would see that we had a part of a circle, and then of course there is a circle attached to that where the base kind of comes together. So we have a portion of a circle, and then we have the circle itself, which is pi r squared. So we're always going to involve a circle, and then we're going to talk about this a little bit later on the side 3, so I'll just leave that where it's at. It says, Bobby is making waffle cones from scratch. Use the Pythagorean theorem to find the slant height of the cone if the radius is 2 inches and the height is 6 inches. Round to the nearest tenth. So we've got a right triangle in here on our cone. The radius is 2. They're giving us the other leg. The height is 6, and we're trying to find the slant height, so the kind of the edge of the cone. And we can use that Pythagorean theorem to find that. Plugging in our 2 legs, 2 squared plus 6 squared is going to equal our hypotenuse, or our slant height, or L in this case. So 4 plus 36 equals c squared. 40 equals c squared. Take the square root of both sides, and we end up with something a little bit bigger than 6 because it's bigger than the square root of 36. 6.3. Round to the nearest tenth. So 6.3 inches is about how long it would be if it's 6 inches tall. So if they're having us review the Pythagorean theorem, I bet we're going to have to use it somewhere. So the lateral area of a cone and the surface area of a cone. So the lateral area, just like with cylinders, is part of the surface area. It just excludes the bases. So the lateral area would just be this portion, this fancy bird, I don't know. And that's going to be almost the circumference. The circumference is 2 pi r or pi d. This one's going to be pi r l to find the height of the surface area of that cone. And then the surface area itself includes the circle. So the lateral area, or the portion of the circle, plus the base circle. So it's just another thing we can learn. It says find the lateral area of a cone, round to the nearest tenth, then find the surface area, round to the nearest tenth. So surface or lateral area is just that circular portion, the curved portion of the top. So lateral area was just pi r l. So I have to make sure we have pi, we have the radius and the slant height, which is that 13. So pi times 5 times 13. If we type that in our calculator, I'm going to type it in different order so that I don't have to use the multiplication sign. Rounded to the nearest tenth, 204.2. So the lateral area is 204.2 millimeters squared. So the surface area is going to be equal to the lateral area plus the base. So we've got that 204.2 plus pi times 5 squared. So I'm just going to write 25 pi in my calculator here. That's 5 squared. That's 78.5. So I've got 204.2 plus 78.5 for a total surface area of 282.7 millimeters squared. So we found the lateral area, which is just that outside portion, the waffle cone, basically, and then the circular base, if we were to have a cone-shaped structure. Find the lateral area of a cone with a radius of 4 inches and a slant height of 9.5. So the lateral area is just equal to pi rl, pi, radius 4, slant height of 9.5, round to the nearest tenth, 4 pi 9.5, we've got 119.4. So lateral area is 119.4 inches squared. Again, find the lateral area of a cone with a diameter of 16 inches, which should tell us that the radius is 8 centimeters, and a slant height of 10. So we've got pi times 8 times 10, round to the nearest tenth. 8 pi 10, 251.3 centimeters squared. Okay. This one says find the surface area of the cone. Round to the nearest tenth. Surface area is equal to that outside curved portion, pi RL, plus 1 base, pi r squared. Pi times the radius they gave us is 4.5. L, slant height is 20. They gave it to us. Pi, radius again, 4.5 squared. So this portion, 4.5 pi 20, that's 282.7. 4.5 squared pi is 63.6. We're going to add those two together, and we get that the surface area of this cone is 346.3 millimeters squared. This might be the top of a lamppost or something like that. These are only the outside portion with no circle at the bottom, so this might be a waffle cone or maybe a hat. Figuring out quantities for those types of things, like a cone hat, party hats. Find the surface area of each cone, this cone, round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so surface area is pi RL, which is the cone portion, plus the base, pi r squared. So we've got pi. The radius would be this divided by 2, so 12.5 on both sides. And the slant height is 20. Plus pi times 12.5 squared. Pi times 12.5 times 20 is 785, that's a large number, 0.4, plus 12.5 squared pi, 490.9, and we add those together, 1,276.3 inches squared. So we have that one. We need to find the radius. Just be careful because there are going to be some, I think there's one on your homework, that's going to have a cone like we started with on slide 2, where it's going to have a cone and then it's going to give you the right triangle inside there. It's going to give you, let's say that this is 3, that this is 4, and you know the height but not the slant height. You have to find that one. So remember, it's 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. Well, c squared. Or if you remember that special right triangle, 3, 4, 5, this is going to end up being 5. In case you remember that. But they are going to give you on your homework some situations where they're going to give you the height and not the slant height. So make sure you have the pi, the r, and the l. Just some funnies here for you. Have a great day.